You ask your system what Acme Corp said about climate risk, and the paragraph that answers it is in your store, ranked near the bottom. And this is not a rag chunking problem. Put one line of text in front of that chunk before you embed it, and it comes back first. Because that paragraph never says the word Acme, not once. It says our operations, our stores, our results. Those pronouns made complete sense on page 47 of the annual report, where the company's name sat at the top of the page and in the sentence before. Then you cut the paragraph out to chunk it, and all of that goes away. And the chunk's embedding keeps no trace of the company either, because an embedding is built out of the words in the chunk, and these words never name it. So a chunk that's completely on topic and contextually anonymous sits in your store, competing on equal terms with paragraphs from dozens of other annual reports. Scored against that query, the right chunk comes back at about 1/10. The same chunk with the document title in front of it comes back at about 9/10. And there is one kind of knowledge base where that does nothing at all, which is worth knowing before you go and put it everywhere. The way I picture it is the running header in a printed book. Every page carries the book title and the chapter name across the top. Tear a page out and hand it to somebody and they still know what they're holding, because the header came out at the page. Without it, it's an orphan paragraph about something. And here's where the running header stops describing this, which is the part worth holding on to. A running header is printed for a person who's holding the page. Nobody reads the header on your chunk. It never gets shown to a person at all. It's written for the embedding model, and that is the only reader it ever has. Which means the whole technique lives in preparation. 5 steps. Your query code untouched. And all of it done before user ever asks anything. Step 1. You split the document into chunks the way you already do. Any splitter, any chunk size, because this step doesn't care how you split. Step 2 is the header itself, and if the document already has a real title, you use it. A lot of them don't. They're called Q3 Report Final V2, so you send the first few thousand words to a language model and ask it one thing. What is the title of this document? It hands back Acme Corp Annual Report. That's one model call for the whole document, however many hundreds of chunks it splits into, and it never runs again. Step 3 is a string concatenation. The paragraph that opened with "given the broad and global scope of our operations" now opens with the words Acme Corp Annual Report. Step 4, you embed the whole thing, the header and the chunk together, with the same embedding model you already use. And the vector that comes out now carries the company along with the topic, so it lands where that company's documents live instead of in the general climate risk neighborhood. Step 5, you store it. Same vector store, same index, nothing new to run. And there's one detail that quietly undoes all of this. And it's easy to miss because it happens outside your indexing code. Keep the header attached. If a courier re-ranker sees the chunk after retrieval, or the model that writes the final answer sees it, the header has to be on it. Strip it at either point, and the model gets 2 companies' paragraphs with nothing to tell them apart, and it blends them into one answer. So keep the header attached. The title on its own does most of the work here, and the header can carry more than that. A 1 or 2 sentence summary of the document, or the path of section headings above the chunk, risk factors, then climate change, so the chunk knows where it sits inside the report. Start with the title only, and add a layer when titles alone can't separate 2 documents covering the same ground. Each layer buys less than the one before it. If you want the rest of them done like this, subscribe. So where does this earn its cost? Knowledge bases built out of many documents covering the same ground, like a shelf of annual reports that all have a risk factor section. And the more the writing leans on we, our, the company, the defendant, the more it gains. Contracts and internal memos are almost nothing but implicit references. And the case where it does nothing, the one worth knowing before you put it everywhere, a knowledge base with one document in it. If everything came out of the same report, the title is on every chunk, so it separates nothing, and you paid a model call to say the same thing everywhere. Same when your chunks are already self-contained, where every pronoun has been resolved into a name, and nothing is contextually anonymous to begin with. So when Retrieval keeps handing you paragraphs that are on the right topic and about the wrong thing, before you rechunk your corpus or swap out your embedding model, look at what your chunks carry with them. Because a chunk that got cut out of its document and left its identity behind is contextually anonymous, and your store can't tell it from the others that read the same. One line, written once per document, kept attached all the way to the answer. That's the running header, and it costs you nothing at query time. Take one chunk out of your own store, read it on its own, and see if you can tell which document it came from. If you can't, your retriever can't either, and the notebook that fixes it is in the RAG Techniques repo, built on LangChain with OpenAI embeddings and a Cohere re-ranker. Next time, your search finds exactly the right chunk and the answer is still wrong, because the chunk starts halfway through a sentence. We fix that by widening the window.